Ladies and gentlemen, it's the video that you've all been waiting for, even if you didn't know it was actually coming. It is the power rankings. Now, throughout the year, I do reviews on drivers looking at all manner of different things. Forgiveness, consistency, and of course distance. But the power rankings are just about pure power. So these videos are about cutting all constraints. It's just as fast as I can swing it, as hard as I can hit it, and just trying to figure out which driver goes the furthest. So the rules of the power ranking, very simple. I get 10 shots to just try and smash the living daylights out of the driver, and whatever the longest drive is out of those 10 goes on the board. Now, the hole that I've actually chosen on the software to do this test is the third hole at Oakmont. It's one of the holes with the famous coffin bunkers down the left-hand side. It's also got some bunkers down the right and thick rough. Now, this is a difficult driving hole, but what I wanted to try and alleviate was a really kind of squirrely random shot that I might catch high toe, for example, and it catches the left side of the range and scampers on. I want there to be rough lying around to actually catch the bad shots. Apart from that, it's just swinging as hard as you can. Simple, really. And in today's video, to kick off the power ranking, I have five drivers which I'm going to use to populate the actual board. And let me introduce you to the runners in today's race. So first up to run the gauntlet of the power ranking is the Taylormade SIM2 driver, the forged aluminium ring, carbon crowned and constructed monstrosity of long distance. Now, the specs on this driver, it's an 8-degree head, but I've cranked that down to 6 degrees. I've got a maximum variability of 2 degrees within the shaft sleeve here. I've got the lowest spinning shaft I could find in this driver. Now, this is a hazardous smoke RDX shaft, 6.5, which basically means an extra stiff. It's in 70 grams, it's a low spinning shaft. For me, it's not the most consistent. So this shaft I really probably wouldn't take out on the golf course, but as far as getting big distance is concerned, this is a great shaft to use. Just launches the ball super low spinning. Second up, we have the Ping G45 LT. Now, this is the driver that I currently have in my bag. And I know from previous testing that this probably won't go as far as these other drivers. I've not yet inflicted the true overall punishment that I can on this driver. I've got an orange tensile shaft in here at 65 grams. Club head is set at 7.5 degrees. I can get a maximum of 1.5 difference in the shaft sleeve, and this is a 9-degree head. So you can start to see here how as the year progresses, I might be able to say get a 7-degree LST head with a super X flex shaft in there, and then I might be able to bump it further up the rankings. I'm saying that, I've not even hit it yet. Next up, we have the Callaway Epic Speed. Now, this is at 8 degrees, so this is the highest loft in the test. According to Callaway, this should be moving the fastest through the air, though, with its super aerodynamic head. Got a tensile blue shaft in here at 65 grams, again, extra stiff, and I think this will be consistent, but maybe not the longest. Now, next up is a driver that I've not actually hit yet. So coming in, the Mizuno STZ, or Z, depending on what you're watching. Now, I've been a big fan of Mizuno drivers over the last few years. I think they've really come on leaps and bounds compared to what they used to be. I'm not saying they used to be rubbish, but they didn't used to be as good as some of the other drivers. Now, this is an absolutely wonderful looking driver, it has to be said. It's set at 7.5 degrees down from a 9.5 degree head. Got a 60-gram Kurakage X-Flex shaft, so I should be able to move this pretty quick. But I've never hit this driver before, so I don't know how it comes off as far as spin rates go. So this is quite a baptism of fire. But to really show you the differences between these drivers and say a normal driver on this test and why this is just a pure distance extravaganza, well, I hope. The first driver I'm going to hit is actually none of these. So the first driver I'm going to be hitting is this. This is the Honma TR20. Now, this has a 60-gram stiff shaft. So this is set up, I would say, for someone who's going to be swinging around 90, 100 miles an hour. It's a soft stiff as well, if that makes sense. There's interchangeable weights within this driver, and I've gone for what you'd call the normal setup. So a 3-gram weight at the front and a 9-gram weight at the back. So this would promote a little bit more of a higher moment of inertia, a little bit more forgiveness and more backspin. But I'm going to hit some of these Honmas away. This is the first video I'm filming within the new studio space, by the way. Found the problem. The sun's there, screen's there. I need to get some blinds. So that is what I would call just a nice, smooth swing. That's going to be a center liner to begin with. I'll do it. Oh, stop it. So you can see there, that's 262 yards carry, swing speed 117 miles an hour there, and that is a good drive. But look what happens when I start to crank up the speed on this one. So just try to get a little bit more of a draw on that, and you can see it's gone. Oh my God, it's going to hit the other fairway. I've not thought of a rule for this actually. What if it hits the other fairway? That still counts, I suppose. From 5 shots, let's go over to the power ranking board and stick it on. So first up on the board, we have the Honma TR20, and I've rather presumptuously put it at number 5. I'm going to be honest, I don't think this is going to be topping the power rankings. Now, the way that I've broken it down on the board is obviously the name of the driver, then the degree of the driver, the shaft that's being used, the carry, the total, the ball, the swing speed, and then the actual total distance. So it's the total distance that we're really going for, but I'm just using these so we can have some cues going forwards. Now with that Honma driver, it's a good driver, but it's just not going to be built for maximum distance with that shaft and with that loft. So on the 298 yard drive, my swing speed was 117 miles an hour. Now that's a good 10 miles an hour down on some of the other swing speeds I'm expecting to do, maybe even more. But that's almost the maximum I feel that I can move that driver while still keeping it on the course. But it's not about keeping it on the course. These aren't accuracy tests. It's just swing as hard as you can. Okay. Onto the SIM2. Okay, now onto the drivers that I think have a chance to claim the top spot. So we have the Taylormade SIM2. Pretty much all carbon. It's got that forged aluminum ring around the outside. Aluminium, sorry. Most of my viewership now is in the US, so it is aluminum, I suppose. Oh, I tell you what, struck it well. It's leaking a bit right though. Well, I'll carry up at 314. Total distance is 330. So you're going to be able to see the huge advantage here of hitting the fairway. Good start though, that. Oh, I've absolutely killed it. It's just drifting left. Oh wow, how far would that have been if it had hit the fairway? 343 yards. Oh my God, that could be huge. That could be huge. Oh, that's cool. Go on, go on, go, 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 go. Oh, I centre lined it. 357 total distance on the centre line. So the Taylormade Sim currently sitting top of the tree. Also, should have said, I'm using the Vice Pro Plus golf ball. I put this right underneath the power ranking so I wouldn't forget, and I didn't. Thank you very much. So the longest drive that I hit with the Sim, 357 yards, so not too bad at all. Obviously, using that whole Oakmont, it's very, very tough, but hey, this isn't an easy challenge. So carry distance was 336, total 357. Ball speed there, 181.7. with a swing speed at 129, so pretty solid numbers. With the power ranking, you should be able to tell by now, it's very much dependent on the day. It's because I got my swing speed the other day to 134. Now, if I put that swing on the ball with a good delivery, this would obviously be bigger numbers. It's about what happens on the day. So very, very good for the Sim. I'm definitely going to get myself fitted for that. That Sim2 for me, it looks great, it sounds great, it feels really good, and I think I just need to get tweaked and honed in. It could be a monster if I get fit properly. I'm excited about that. Onto the Ping. So onto the driver that I've currently got in my bag at the moment. This is a Ping G45 LT. I've got this down at 7.5 degrees. It's a tiny bit shorter in length, but I'd expect to hit more fairways with this, but probably not get the same amount of distance. And the one way to find out though. Such an exaggerated draw, but actually did what I wanted it to. Man, not great, not great. So my current driver, I was a little bit disappointed in it, to be honest. It's a driver that I get set up to and I think, you know what? I am going to be able to find so many fairways with this club. And that hasn't changed. I think setting up normally to that and swinging about 120 miles an hour, yeah, I think that'd be decent. But the maximum distance I got was a 320 yard drive. Ball speed was decent, 177. Swing speed at 124. I just didn't feel that for an LST model, I still think it spins quite a bit. It's got a tensile orange shaft, it's 75 degrees, 65 grams. It should be spinning less, but for whatever reason it isn't. However, moves into second on the power ranking. Let's see what the Callaway Epic Speed can do. So next up we got the Epic Speed. This is the highest lofted club. It was a good drive actually in the original test I did, but again, I found this more accurate on normal shots, like that ping there. I found that very accurate, and on the course I find it very accurate, but there you can see trying to give it more, I don't know, just doesn't feel ideally built for that. Well, that is so toey, that might actually miss the next fairway. It's got 321, but that is an absolutely shocking shot. Ooh, hold that line. Hold that line. Go on then. Go on then. Oh, good showing, last shot, Callaway. As the rain starts to pour, we have movement in the board already. Down you come, ping, and in you go, Callaway. Quite a surprise, actually. So the longest shot I hit, 346 yards. Swing speed at 127 miles an hour. Ball speed at 177, so not quite cracking the 180s. But I was just managing to launch it with a nice flight and a nice spin. Didn't feel as strong and as powerful as the SIM2, but yeah, Callaway Epic Speed, decent. Okay, on to the Mizuno, a driver which I've never hit before. I've no idea what to expect. Why don't we find out together? This looks like incredible behind the ball, I have to say. These are the first shots I'm ever going to hit with this driver. It's a great feeling driver straight away. It sounded very solid. Very straight. Potentially spun up a touch on me here. More like the drawy shape I think I'm going to need, but this driver just feels so solid. Ah, nah. Nah. Hey, goodbye. We have more movement. The board, the ping drops down another spot. It wasn't by much though, and I think the Mizuno and the ping kind of suffering from the same issue really. Just drivers for me that feel like they're set up and they'd be really good at hitting fairways, not for the kind of monstrous hitting that I could get to the sim. But you can see the differences, so let's compare those two. So the Mizuno, longest drive there was 328. Swing speed's 124. I was feeling a little bit tired at the end, and that does have to be taken into consideration. Ball speed 172, so much lower. But if you simply have a look at the difference in the club heads, 6 degree with the Taylormade Sim, 7.5 degrees with the Mizuno. So obviously the Mizuno is going to launch higher, it's going to have more spin. Slightly heavier shaft in the Sim as well. So there's nothing to say that if I got, let's say, the Mizuno, the Ping, and then the Honma, for example, if I got those in a very stiff, low spinning launching shaft, and then combine that with a much lower degree on the club head, then yeah, they could be moved up. But that's what this power ranking is all about. It's about getting the drivers through, doing a normal test with them, but then ramping them up to see where they are on the power ranking. And at the moment in time, Taylormade SIM2 is ruling the roost. So what I'm going to do with the power ranking is every time I review a driver, at the end, I'm going to basically hit the shots that's going to get it on the board. But within the videos, I'm also going to be doing my normal style review. Because at the end of the day, it's not very often you're going to go out and swing like that on the golf course. Well, maybe. But get down into the comments below. What driver would you like to see me review, but also populate the power ranking with? All right, guys, huge thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on my other social media platforms as well. And we'll see you down here next time.